From Osaka, we explored the Kansai region, riding the train through the hilly suburbs and fertile lands that Kansai is known for, to Nara, the 8th century Japanese capital. Built up against the Mount Kasuga primeval forest, one of the oldest and most sacred forests in Japan, the natural setting is what draws many to this city. The first thing we noticed in the train station was a warning about aggressive deer. And it didn't take long before we started seeing them all over the town. Considered sacred, they're very popular with tourists. But the deer are just here for the snacks, and their patience with tourists can run thin when rice crackers are involved. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, much of the town is traditional Edo period architecture, and restoration and maintenance is an ongoing process. Rising out of the forest, the great temples of Nara are also UNESCO sites. Todaiji Temple Complex was established in the year 738 by Emperor Shomu as a home for the spirit of his son, Crown Prince Motoi, who died as an infant. The buildings are built out of wood from regional forests, and the main temple area houses the Great Buddha Hall, the world's largest wooden building until 1998. We skipped the separate fee and massive crowds to admire it from afar. Kofukuji Temple, with its iconic 5-story wooden pagoda, is one of the oldest in Japan, and predates the Nara imperial period by 30 years. Destroyed multiple times over the centuries by wars and fires, its designation as a UNESCO site and Japanese national treasure will hopefully keep it intact for centuries to come. Situated between the temples, Yoshiki-en Garden has been open to the public since the 1980s. Beautifully laid out on multiple levels, it's a quintessential Japanese garden where rocks, plants, and water interact to form an idealized environment. An entire section is just moss. We never thought of moss as beautiful, but Yoshiki-en manages to make it so. We got to Nara just after breakfast, and crowds of mostly students were already there. But even more buses arrived as we were leaving, so we're glad we were able to miss that rush. From Nara to Nara. Nara Gogo, the 5 villages of Nara, have been making sake for 700 years, accounting for over 1/4 of national production. Hamafukutsuru Brewery has 200-year-old roots and offers free factory tours, showcasing traditional techniques and modern technology. The tastings are reasonably priced, and we did our best to sample their nearly 20 products. The gentleman who humbly filled our glasses was actually their master brewer. Kyoto, north of Osaka, was capital of Japan after Nara for over 1,000 years until 1868. Today, it's the cultural capital and a tourist and shopping mecca. Some stores have a truly impressive lineage. The Kamo River flows through Kyoto City, and on the north side, the river is crossed by concrete turtle-shaped stepping stones. Installed in 1992 to protect the riverbed from erosion, they're now a local and tourist favorite. Sitting on the banks downriver was a popular way to stay cool on a sunny day and just relax for a while. Kyoto was spared any major bombing during World War II, so many old structures were left intact. This neighborhood is still lived in, so photos are restricted, but the nearby temple and gardens are also original. Just west of downtown, Nijo Castle dates from 1626. The Japanese emperor moved from Nara to Kyoto in 794, but Nijo was the Kyoto residence of the Tokugawa shogunate, the military and political rulers of Japan following the Osaka Summer War of 1615. Nijo Castle was a reminder to the emperor and all in Kyoto who was really in charge. The outer fortifications of the castle are impressive, with thick stone and earthen walls and massive iron gates. The gardens, an important part of any Japanese palace, are a beautiful blend of water, plant, and rocky elements that even this gray heron can appreciate. The main palace was closed for renovations, but we could tour the secondary palace, though unfortunately the beautiful interior was off limits to all photography. On the western outskirts of Kyoto, the Arashiyama train from Osaka takes you to one of the most famous bridges in Japan. First built 1200 years ago, the Toketsukyo Bridge across the Katsura River has been featured in many Japanese movies. A short walk through town takes you to another world. The Arashiyama Bamboo Grove. The densely packed bamboo stalks tower over 60 feet above you. And even though the trails can get very crowded, you can still lose yourself in the peacefulness of the grove. On the southern fringe of Kyoto, past busy streets, is one of the most touristy spots in the Kansai region, the Fushimi Inari Shrine. Dedicated over 1300 years ago to Inari, the Shinto deity of rice, it's one of the most important shrines in all Japan. Its most famous features are the vermilion-colored gates, or torii, that line the wooded paths snaking through the hills, connecting different smaller shrines of Fushimi Inari. In the Shinto religion, torii are symbolic of entering a spiritual place. In the 17th century, it became popular for businesses and individuals to donate a torii to the shrine to make a wish come true or to show gratitude for a wish that came true. Today, there are about 10,000 torii throughout the shrine. Even though it's supposed to be a place of spirituality and peace, unlike the bamboo grove, those moments were few and far between. The hordes of people made serenity nearly impossible to find. North of central Kyoto, along a small electric train line, a rural station is the opposite of the Inari tourist area. Our Japanese friend gave us a tour of her town, nestled in a mountain valley, where the community has its own rice paddies and a Shinto shrine dedicated to Yamazumi, the god of mountains. The shrine is built into the side of the hill. The roots and stones are revered, as are several rocks. She also took us a little south to another town in the foothills, with wonderful wooded walking paths. Passing by the Kyoto Botanical Garden for medicinal plants, and another Shinto shrine. This one dedicated to the god of healing and fertility.